and welcome to Living Albuquerque. I'm Jennifer Wilson, and I'm really glad you're here. I've been a full-time realtor in the greater Albuquerque area for 31 years. And if there's one thing I've learned in 3 decades of helping people buy and sell homes, it's that people aren't just really talking about houses. They think they're asking about 2 bedrooms, 3 baths. They think they're asking about the market or which neighborhood may suit them best. But what they're really asking is something deeper. They're asking, what's it like to live here? What does a Saturday morning feel like in Albuquerque? What does it feel like in this neighborhood? What does it feel like on this side of the river? What are the people like here? What makes this city or area special? And what will my life be like here? That's the real question. And that's what this podcast is all about. Yes, I sell real estate. I love looking at homes, and I'm always happy to answer questions about the market, architecture, timing, neighborhoods, what you need to do to sell your home. But the deeper truth is, after living here for so long, I've come to realize something. Real estate is just the doorway. The real story is your life once you walk through it. And New Mexico is a wonderful place to build a life. Over the years, I've written newsletters highlighting local artists, events, history, interesting corners of the city and the state. And I realized something. People love these stories. They love learning about the people and places that make Albuquerque and New Mexico special. So this podcast is really an extension of that idea. Think of it as a love letter to Albuquerque. It's a space to explore the city more deeply. We're going to talk about architecture and neighborhoods. We're going to highlight local businesses and creatives. We're going to share stories about people shaping the city. We're going to explore places worth visiting, whether you're new here or have lived here your whole life. And of course, along the way, we're going to talk about real estate. Because understanding a place deeply is what makes someone good at helping people find a place here. If you've spent time in Albuquerque, you know what I mean. There's just something about this place. Maybe it's the light. It's what got me when I visited for the first time in 1991. It was just like an Ansel Adams photo I saw in high school. Artists have been talking about the New Mexico light for generations. The way the sun hits the sandias at sunset, giving it that beautiful watermelon color. Maybe it's the architecture. The adobe homes with their soft curves. The vigas. The courtyards with the hollyhock's pop of color against the stucco wall. Homes that feel like they grew out of the land instead of being placed on top of them. Or maybe it's the people, because Albuquerque is full of fascinating people. Artists and musicians and the movie industry folks, scientists, IT, and engineers from the labs, Air Force members stationed at Kirtland Federal Air Force Base, many of which moved back after retirement, entrepreneurs building business, teachers, chefs, makers, and dreamers. And all of them contribute to the personality of the city. I've always believed a home isn't just 4 walls and a roof. It's the coffee shop down the street. It's the little library on the corner. It's the farmer's market you go to on the weekend morning. It's the trail you walk in the evening when the sky turns a different color palette every sunset. It's the community you become a part of. And Albuquerque has so many layers of community. For those of you who don't know me yet, let me tell you a little bit about my background. As I've mentioned, I've been a full-time realtor here in the greater Albuquerque area for 31 years. Over that time, I've had the privilege of helping hundreds of people buy and sell homes across the city. From historic neighborhoods to brand new communities, mountain properties, valley homes, and everything in between. I've even sold a guest ranch in the middle of the Gila wilderness, which was a great experience. I'm currently the #1 RE/MAX broker in the city and 2nd in the state. I've been honored to be recognized in the top 1% of realtors in the country, and I'm grateful for my customers for that. But what has kept me excited about my career over the last 3 decades is something very simple. Every home tells a story, and every person I work with is starting a new chapter, and I get to help them write it. I find helping folks transition through major life changes incredibly fulfilling, and it's been my life's work. Some are moving across town, some are downsizing, some are upscaling with growing families, some are relocating from across the country and have no idea what to expect and what they're going to find. Those relocation clients have always been especially meaningful to me because I've relocated twice across the country by myself, from Houston to DC, and then from DC to here. I know what it feels like to arrive someplace new and wonder if you've made the right choice. To help folks with this, I do an overview tour of the city for folks coming in for job interviews or just wondering if Albuquerque is right for them. We spend a half a day and sometimes half of the following day looking at different housing in different neighborhoods to give you a feel of what it's like. It helps you narrow down what area is going to feel like home to you. What I've watched again and again is something really special. People think they're coming here just buying a house because they got a really good job at Sandia Labs or Intel, and they fall in love with Albuquerque just like I did. When I moved here after graduating college in DC and moved here to go to the University of New Mexico for grad school, I wasn't sure what I had done. Everything was so stark. So many strip malls, and there were people talking to each other in grocery store lines. Didn't they know they were taking up other people's time? Then before you know it, I was chatting right along with them and taking in all the subtle beauty that's New Mexico. My breath was taken away from driving from Paradise Hills to the east side of the city, watching the moon come up over the Sandias. It was magic, and I knew I was home. Folks asked me why I've stayed, and I let them know Albuquerque suits me. One thing I've noticed over the years is that people who have lived here for a while forget how special and unique this place is. When you live somewhere long enough, it starts to feel ordinary. The day-to-day grind begins. But when you see Albuquerque through the eyes of someone that has just arrived, you remember. You remember. Not every city has mountains and volcanoes on the horizons. Not every city has 300 plus days of sunshine a year. Not every city has a balloon fiesta that fills the fall sky with 700 plus balloons. Not every city has layers of culture, including Native American, the Spanish, the American Wild West, all shaping the culture and architecture and traditions of New Mexico. Not every city has the creative spirit that lives here. Albuquerque is full of small businesses and makers and shakers and artists who quietly make up the extraordinary. The local potter whose work you see in the market, and then again at the coffee shop. The chef that begins a tiny restaurant that soon becomes a neighborhood favorite. The architect designing homes that honors the landscape, as well as the needs of the community. Those are the stories that fascinate me. Who moves to New Mexico, you ask? Those that crave the authentic and have a spirit of adventure. After 3 decades in real estate, my perspective has evolved. I used to think my job was helping people buy and sell homes. Over time, I realized something. My real job is helping people find their place, matching people with neighborhoods that fit their lifestyle, helping them understand how different areas of the city feel to them, introducing them to the community around them. Because the right home isn't always about the house. It's about the life around it. And Albuquerque offers so many different kinds of life. Historic neighborhoods with tree-lined streets, like Silver Hill, like Hooning Highland, and Ridgecrest. The quiet foothill communities with views of the mountains, with volcanoes and city lights, with deer wandering through your yard, like places like Sandia Heights, Glenwood Hills, and High Desert. Lively areas near restaurants and culture, like downtown and Nob Hill, and Old Town. Properties with land with open skies, like Placitas and Rio Rancho. Neighborhoods that run along the Rio Grande River with towering cottonwood trees, like Corrales and the North and South Valley. Part of what I hope to do with this podcast is to help people see the city through that lens. In future episodes, we'll explore a lot of different topics. We're going to talk about local artists and business owners. We're going to talk about architecture and design traditions that make New Mexico homes unique, as well as contemporary infill. We'll spotlight hidden gems around the city. We're going to share stories about the people who make Albuquerque what it is. And on occasion, we're going to dive into real estate questions as well, because those are always interesting and it's important. The next 4 episodes will be geared to real estate and behind the scenes of what it takes to buy and sell so you can become familiar with my process. We're going to have Jerry Tomasi, who's a local mortgage broker, who I've worked with for the past several years. Jerry's going to help us understand lending. Cass Barlow is a licensed qualifying broker who also works with me as my licensed transaction manager. That's going to help us understand her role as well as the New Mexico state forms. Tara Ross is a local escrow officer here at Title Alliance of New Mexico. She's going to help us understand the crucial role the title company plays in a real estate transaction. Mike Teas, who is a local insurance broker, is going to help us navigate all the changes in the insurance. These episodes lay the foundation of my practice and to answer the important questions of a real estate transaction. But more than anything, this podcast is meant to celebrate Albuquerque, to slow down and notice the details, to appreciate the beauty and creativity that is this community. If you already live here, I hope this podcast helps you to see Albuquerque with fresh eyes and get to know other locals. And if you're thinking about moving here, I hope it gives you a sense of what makes this place special and a chance to know me and see if we'd be a good fit. Helping people navigate Albuquerque, the homes, the neighborhoods, the hidden gems has been my life work over 3 decades. This podcast is just another way I get to share what I love about this city. If you have ever had a question about neighborhoods, architecture, timing of the market, vendor or referrals, or what it's really like to live here, reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer questions. And remember, real estate isn't just about buying and selling. It's about finding the right place for your space and your place in the community. Thank you for spending time with me here today on Living Albuquerque. And until next time, I'm Jennifer Wilson, your local realtor. Live well, live Burque. Thank you for listening to Living Albuquerque. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share it with someone who loves Albuquerque or is thinking about calling it home. Until next time, live well, live Burque.